Hi everyone. So I'm going to try and keep this under 10 minutes, see how I go. This last week has been a shit show. Hell in a basket. Was not fun. Do not recommend. Nurse decided to take me into hospital because my right side of my face was really, really hot. My temperature was low. It was like, I think it was like 34.7 at home, which is lower than my normal. I usually sit 35.6 to 36 degrees. So she decided to take me in, get a, doctor's opinion, full workup, all the good stuff, straight onto the ward. Fluid started to run, all that good stuff, took bloods, sent them off for culturing and to find out what the hell's going on. Within half an hour, they come back and said, your white cell's through the roof. You have an infection somewhere. We didn't find one externally at home. PICC line was all good. There was no skin infections. There was no open wounds. There was no, smells coming from any different orifices. So, and that was the other reason that I had to go in, because it wasn't obvious. So that's fine. And so started me on 3 different lots of IV antibiotics, and progressively got worse, not better. Levels were rising quite rapidly each time. They were doing bloods, I think, every 4 hours or every 2 hours at the start. I don't know, but it was a lot. Yes, and then I was informed that I needed to have a nasogastric tube put in because my weight had been declining rapidly. In this past week, I lost 10 kilos. Over the last 2 months, I've lost 20. I don't look any different. All of it is muscle mass. I don't think I've lost any fat. Anyway. And I said, I'm doing all the right things. I'm having my protein. That's what I eat first, is protein. I have protein waters, a high protein shake with all the greens in it. I have a protein dessert, which is a long sustaining protein overnight. I eat eggs. I have meat, soups and stews that have got all the nutrient dense. In the stews and the soups, I have all the veggies in there. So majority of what I'm eating is protein. That's it. And they argued and I argued and I said, fine, just put the bloody thing in. So they put it in. And I think it was about 6 hours later, I started, and because I had a catheter put in, I wasn't getting up. I didn't look at myself in the mirror. I was just laying in the bed. So nurse came in and she just sort of looked at me and look of, not horror, but oh shit look. And she came over and she said, I need to remove your nasogastric tube. And she did it immediately. Okay, great. And she withdrew more blood. And she said, I'm going to go make some phone calls and I'll be back. She came back in. She said, you're going down for an MRI now. The oncologist is on the way. Cool. So I've had my MRI scan. The oncologist has gotten there as I've been brought back into the room. And he just took one look at me and said that I have sepsis, even before the results came back, because of the red line going. Because it actually, I don't know if it captured it in photos, but it came from behind like the eye socket straight up and through the main vein. Now, I have that vein there pop out bluish and sometimes raise when I'm unwell, upset, emotional, whatever the case may be. And he said, you have a red line up the main vein from the back of your eye socket and your nose into your brain. And I was, okay. He goes, I'll guarantee that it's sepsis. We'll wait for the results, but I'm going to start 2 more extra IV antibiotics. So that puts me to 5 different IV antibiotics, which is a lot. It's a hell of a lot. I continued to decline until the next morning, I think it was. So that day, I think it was the Monday, it was bad. I can look back now and say that I was not in a good situation. I think because I was fighting so hard, I didn't let myself realise that it was, it was not good. Shana, my best friend, was messaging me and I wasn't responding the way I normally would. And she sort of says, "You're really not good." And I sort of had to admit, well, no, I'm not. And for her to have to say her goodbyes over text message was one of the worst things. It's not nice, because I couldn't speak at that point. And so Monday day and night was not good. You know, rushing. Shana is my executor of my estate and my medical if I am incapacitated. So she has full proxy. And doctors will call her if it is at that point, or if I'm not conscious, to make a decision, that sort of thing. So, fun times. So when she's, and she's a bit of a tough cookie. She's a hard nut. She's a beautiful soul, the most beautiful person you'll ever meet or wish you would met. But she's a tough cookie, and for her to say to me, "You're not good," that hurt. Thanks, Shana. And then me trying to come up with something to say back, and I have it all in my head, but I can't get it out. It's pathetic. So I didn't think I was as bad, or I didn't think it was going to get as bad as that, or I would have made videos beforehand. I will be making them just in case for future. But moving on. So Monday day and night was really bad. It wasn't probably till afternoon on Tuesday where I started to, and I could feel it. I could feel my body. It was almost like snakes or creepy crawling under you, through your veins and your skin. And that was the antibiotics fighting the infection, because sepsis is your blood infection. So, and oh, wow, could I feel it? But each blood test that came back was starting to pick up, which it started to turn a corner. So those two extra really started to kick its ass and get on top of it so it could start fighting. And each 4 hours, realistically, I was better and better, and, results were coming back better. So I don't know whether I said it before, but when I was really bad, my PICC line, my body was pushing my PICC line out because it ended up infected. It was rejecting it. So especially because I do have that RHD negative, my body, it's just the way it is. It will reject anything foreign. It's why I don't have a lot of piercings. Even these ones, I've got to clean quite regularly and be very careful. But anyway, it's just something that is part of being RHD negative. And when you're infected, when your body's got an infection anyway, it naturally wants to push a foreign object out. So you could, and in the photo, you can actually see how much it had actually started pushing out. So it had to be removed, which is the lifeline. So it's not a good thing when the PICC line comes out. I am not able to have a port in my chest. In the past, I've had them in the peritoneal area in my stomach. So I had scans, and I will be having one of those put in probably later next week, by the end of the week. we're going to wait until the infection is like very low in the system. Sepsis stays in your system for a long time. It can be months before you fully get rid of it, but it can be down to a manageable level where they can put the port in or another PICC line. But at the moment, the port would be a better option. I was trying to avoid that, but it is the better option. So, yeah, what else do I have to say? So I got my platelets. That was, they wanted me to be a bit lower to receive those in case I did have a reaction. Same donor. All the checks, all good. I had 6 units, and like last time I was really bad. I was really low because I'm also really ill. This time, every bag that was being put up, I could feel myself perking up just that, just that little extra. It was almost like, it's almost like the reverse effect when you have a sip of alcohol and you start to get that little bit more. I was starting to perk a bit more up. Perk a bit more up, perk up a bit more. Wow, my brain is screwed. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, my brain is tired. So PICC line? No, port. So told you about the PICC line. Okay, port, yes. So, and then I've gone to have a PET scan. So I had the platelets. Yeah, so platelets Thursday, and each one I felt better, and the levels are coming back up. Today and tomorrow are the drops. So today I've been pretty exhausted and very flat. That's fine. I'm still better than I was sort of this time last week. So, it's gone again. This is unreal. Oh, right. So, PET scan. So they ended up sending me down and having a PET scan as well, because it's been a couple of weeks since, I think it's been 4 because I've had the break in between. They did it in between the first and the second cycle, but then I had to wait in between cycle because the platelets, and so anyway, they just thought, I'm there, give me another one. So as you know, previously on diagnosis, I was stage 3 with a 7 centimetre para-aortic lymph node metastasis. After the first cycle of chemotherapy, it actually went up to an 11 centimetre and upgraded, to stage 4 ovarian cancer. And terminal, 6 to 12 months if I keep going the way I'm going and my body responds the way it is. So the scans that they did Thursday afternoon came back, and it has grown again. So it's at 15 centimetres. And I've just got to be able to get back onto the chemo. And have dostarlimab. I'm just going to call it the wonder drug. Because that name is just, especially when your brain's all screwed up. So fingers crossed that is back on the table and I get an answer Monday. So last week I was meant to have the answer on the Friday. Well, that's the day I went in and I was really unwell, so it's got benched, basically. It was looking promising, I was told. But again, you have to be, I mean, you can be deathly ill, but you also sort of have to be well enough to have a baseline. It's so that they have a baseline to start, because they're going to analyze exactly what this medicine does to me and study it. So if I'm really, 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 really shithouse when it starts, it's not a good. So they sort of want me to be more at my normal crappy baseline. There's no better way to say it, but not be in the critical state that I was in last week. So I will find out Monday, and we'll check how my levels are going and how they're progressing and all of that good stuff, where the platelets are rising and the infection is dropping. So I'll have an answer Monday whether I've been granted. And then if, my body's doing all the right things, I can hopefully start it next or the end of the week. Give my body a chance to recover a bit. So at the moment, the nurse is coming daily and they are on call like usual. I am, when she's here, she's giving me the IV antibiotics, but the other 3 doses I do myself. I do know how to inject. They said, you've done, and I said, I've done this before. Would you like a refresher? Has anything changed? No. Okay. So I am doing that myself because I am on IV antibiotics, and that allows me to be at home. If I had my PICC line, that's even easier. I've got a drip in. The drip is being changed daily so that it doesn't occlude, so it doesn't get infected, so my body doesn't reject it. We're changing sites. I've even had them in the tops of my feet throughout the week. Feet hurt to go in, but they're actually good because they're out of the way. So I have my IV lines. I am doing the 3 injections, and nurse does the one when she is here and makes sure that it's all healthy and, everything's all good, and takes blood as per usual. So, yeah. But yeah, feeling stronger every day. I'm just flat. It's going to take a while to get some energy and I've got a bit of a voice today. That's a positive sign, I suppose. So just to get back to, more my cancer normal. How do you say that when that's not even normal? Anyway, not have the infection rampant through my body. And I've got to just watch my temperature like a hawk. Anything that dries, because I sit naturally. I am 35.6 to 36 degrees Celsius naturally, which is lower than normal. Normal is 37. So anything sort of they're saying at the moment, anything into the 34s, especially the mid 34s, so 34.5, then I am straight back in. Because with sepsis, I didn't even know this. Never knew it. Never knew. I mean, it can happen with any infection, I've been told. Generally, people have a fever, really sky high fever. You can also be hypothermic. But generally, when you're hypothermic, that actually indicates the severity of the infection and how sick you really are. So it's not as common, but it does happen. So I have to stay warm. Of course, I'm isolated. I'm not going anywhere. No one's allowed to visit. It's not safe for me. I have the one nurse, Sarah. She's brilliant. We don't even swap nurses. We don't have different nurses visit. We have the one nurse, and that is it. Because I just can't afford to get infections. And she's a nurse that she is dedicated in what she does. She's really amazing. You get your good ones and you get your not so good ones throughout your journey. Most of the time, oncology nurses and people who work in that sort of area, they're geared to it. They don't stay in that area long, or they don't last in those areas long, because you have to be a certain type of person to be able to work with a range of different illnesses and severe critical illnesses and types of cancer. So, but also have the empathy and the understanding, and just they want to do their job. It's not just a job. Not all nurses can say that, which if you're not doing it for the right reasons, get the hell out of the bloody industry, honestly. But I have Sarah, she's a godsend. The team at the Alfred Centre are brilliant. I haven't had any issues so far, which is pretty rare. And that's just being honest, because I am someone, if I don't like something, or if they're doing the wrong thing, I will push back. If it's for my own good, okay, I can get a little cranky, but you have to do what you've got to do. So that's all good and well. But yeah, so Sarah is someone who, she doesn't go out on the town. She doesn't gallivant around everywhere. She does her job. She's dedicated to her job. And then when she does have her time off, she has her time off. So that is extremely appreciated, because it's not an easy job. That's not an easy thing to do, but it's what she's doing, and it's amazing. Thank you, Sarah. So yeah, and then the goal moving forward, because I have lost so much weight, but I'm going to have to take side-on photos and front-on photos and see if I actually have, but it doesn't appear to be. But then because my stomach is growing because of the tumour, it's really hard to tell too. So I feel like I've actually gained weight, especially when I look down and I go, oh, tummy's big and it's protruding, but I've got a big tummy anyway, but it does seem more amplified than normal, which it is, because there's now a 15 centimetre gremlin in there that doesn't want to bugger off. So, yes, so getting back to it. So once my infection's down quite low, I'm going to start with a physio, sort of like a physio rehabilitation, but it's to gain your muscle. So I'm going to hopefully be losing the weight side, which I'm not eating anything that can be making me gain. So even all my protein, and I was even told in hospital, you've got to eat a little bit more fat. Okay, noted. Does chocolate count? No. Anyway, so even the proteins and everything I have are low fat, but massive high proteins and green nutrients and all the good, I don't know what they're called, amino acids and all of that. So it's high in all of those. So the aim is to build my muscle mass back up and lose the body weight as such. But that's going to be a very fine line of doing that. It's going to be very slow to start with, because I can't lose rapidly. Hello. That's the aim. And then to build muscle mass back up, become stronger, then your body can fight easier. It's easier to get around, it's easier to move, just all the good things. And yeah, so that's the next step, but I don't think that'll be until probably, a couple of weeks. We'll see how everything goes. But so working with the physio to do gym sessions, and I'm guessing it's going to be predominantly weights and things like that to build muscle. I don't know. Cardio is just not my jam. I suck at cardio. Always have, probably always will. I can dance. That's fine. Well, I could dance. That's fine. But running and walking, shit like that, not my jam. Just not my jam. 1 kilometre, 2 kilometres is my maximum in one hit. But at the moment, I'm lucky to get to the toilet. So it's going to be a while before I build up and be able to do that. But building muscle mass, so, more protein. I don't know how much more I can fit in. Like, honestly, what am I up to? 220 grams of protein a day. Is it grams? 220, whatever it is. It's high. It's really high. It's a lot. And then protein makes you feel full, so guess what you don't want to eat? It's a revolving cycle, and it's not an easy one. So yes, I'm pretty much, I'm gotten to the point now, it's not 3 and 4 meals a day. I'm grazing and sipping and nibbling everything all day long. See, here it is, my trusty protein water. Doesn't it look enticing? It's very sweet. That there says 90 grams of protein in 300 mils of water, and you've got to drink it within a couple of hours, otherwise it's no good. Tried that and nearly vomited instantly. It is sickly sweet. I actually now add that to 800 mils of water and it's still sweet. It's just not nice. Anyway, so, and then, because you're having so much protein, you're full and you don't want to eat. So that's pretty much where it stands. It's not, I'm better than last week. Prognosis is shit. Hopefully I get the wonder drug. Please and thank you. But yeah, it's going to be a long road. Not one I'm sure I will beat, but I'm a fighter. I'm a stubborn Taurus. You're really stubborn Taurus. And yes, I have my love bug to fight for. So, and my kitties, who now are not snubbing me. They will not leave me alone. Like, they're literally right there. One's in between my legs, one's right next to my leg. So, yeah, it is what it is. I've cried, I've gotten angry, I've just, oh, why me? But it is what it is. You get upset, then you find your fight, or you find something to fight for. You fight yourself. That's the hardest thing. Fighting yourself is actually not easy. Not easy, especially when the little devil's going, just give up. Don't do it anymore. And the other angel's going, fight. So, all the emotions that happen throughout a day of a cancer patient. Yeah, so still alive. If you've managed to end the video, good luck to you, because 29 minutes, 36 seconds so far. So here I was going to keep it under 10 minutes. There was too much to say. So yeah, summarise. This week was hell in a hat. Getting better, getting stronger. All had a platelet transfusion, which is great. I won't be doing chemo this coming week. The aim is possibly the following week, which realistically, because I had to, I have to ask, I don't know. I was going to say realistically it'd be like starting again, but I don't know. I'll have to see whether I'll get the double, like the platinum and the taxane, because that's like starting a new cycle, because this cycle's been interrupted severely. It may have to restart, I don't know, or it may continue on. I'm new to this dual chemotherapy regime. This is my first time. All my other times I have not had. Platinum base is only new over the last, I think it was like 6 years or something, 5 or 6 years, or especially in Australia anyway, because I've never heard of it before in my past treatments. So yeah, I don't know whether they'll have to restart again. But anyway, it is what it is. Whatever they give me, I have to wear. So yes, I'm alive. I'm home. I am getting more protein in. Yeah. That's about where it's at. I've rambled on so long, I'm probably going to delete this video. I don't know how to make it shorter. Yeah, I know. I'm just going to leave it. Bugger it. If people really want to watch and really want to know, they'll watch it to the end. So anyway, looking healthier today. So that's a good thing. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go because I actually do need to eat. And have some medicine. What's the time? 20 minutes. 20 minutes and I have some medicine. Yay! Yeah. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone, if you've lasted this long. Bye-bye now. Much love.